Meanwhile, the River State chapter of the Nigeria Labour Congress boycotted the annual May Day celebration. They, however, converged on the secretariat in Port Harcourt to demand the reinstatement of a democratic rule in the state. This action follows the declaration of a state of emergency, which the NLC and other unions have condemned as unconstitutional. The NLC emphasized the importance of democratic governance for workers' rights and welfare. Placards at the rally included messages such as "Reinstate River State government" and "We want Governor Fubara back." Let's now turn to Comrade Ogbogu Emeka, chairman of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, Federal Ministry of Transportation. Also joining in is Sikiru Waheed, General Secretary, Amalgamated Union of Public Corporation of Civil Service. It's a pleasure to have you both on the news tonight. Let me start with you, comrade. What significance does this International Day hold for Nigerian workers?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me on this program. It's a very significant day, and it's a day that will mark the International Workers' Day across the world. And Nigeria not being an exception. It's a great day for Nigeria workers. We are happy to have this day. And it's a day we reflect on the issues of what has gone behind, that is the issue of yesterday, to think of what is happening today. Then that will give us a planning stage of what will happen tomorrow. It's a very great day for Nigeria workers, and I think it's a day to reflect on what has happened in the past, especially within the space of time and the issue of minimum wage. So we're happy to be here today, and we thank God for bringing us to this very great day of International Workers' Day and the solidarity to workers across the Federation and the international world entirely. Thank you very much.
Comrade Waheed, let's talk about the 70,000 naira minimum wage. Labour is still demanding an increment when the implementation of this amount has not been fully actualized. Isn't that a tall dream or an unrealistic demand, considering where we're at a nation?
Yes, thank you very much. The issue of the 70,000 minimum wage, as you can see today, is in a very sorry state. The fact remains that the National Joint Public Negotiating Council negotiated the consequential adjustment, which brings about the issue of the minimum wage. And excuse me, the consequential adjustment is supposed to come out with the differences and the relativity in the salaries as required as you look at the workers across the Federation. But what we're having today is that government is not sincere in its implementation of the minimum wage. We have a haphazard implementation of minimum wage to the extent that what workers are getting does not really commensurate with the negotiation that was actually in place. I was a member of the Joint Negotiating Council that negotiated the minimum wage with the federal government, where you see the National Salaries and Wages Commission there, where you see representative of federal government, where you also see representative from the Accountant General Office and all that. And at the end of the day, we came out with a figure. But what they are paying today does not reflect the figure. And in the process where they even make payment on this minimum wage, you find out that the federal government have introduced a very high tax regime. And this tax regime they introduced has eroded completely what could have been the impact of the minimum wage. Because you find out that it's like giving somebody money or giving somebody something with the right hand and taking it back with the left hand. Because the minimum wage, the content and the intent of the minimum wage has been completely eroded by the introduction of the high tax regime. So for us, we are not happy about it. I don't think there is any Nigerian worker that is really happy with the minimum wage implementation, especially as it is implemented at the federal level. So we call on the government to look at this very matter sincerely. If we are to have a very good industrial harmony in this country, because the costs of transportation, the cost of feeding, and in fact, cost of living has so skyrocketed that the minimum wage does not have impact and does not reflect in a good deal in the pocket of the workers. So these are the spaces, the places that also, yes.
Let's talk about something else. Retirement age. That's one of the subject matter that came up during today's ceremonies across the country. How will this impact the workforce and the economy, and what are the potential benefits and drawbacks of increasing a retirement age? Comrade Emeka.
Today's event marks a very remarkable milestone in the life of workers. If you may recall, the theme of today's event is reclaiming the civic space in the midst of economic hardship. Workers have to express their opinions. It's really not easy for workers in the economic space of Nigeria today. But we believe and we hope that with what the government is putting in place in terms of workers' welfare, that the future is bright, very bright. But for now, it's really not easy. Because if we look at the minimum wage issues, most of the states have not really started the implementation of the minimum wage, and it's really a very major.
All right, Comrade Waheed, let me come back to you and just try and follow up on your submission on the minimum wage not being enough. The government has over the years said that there has to be a balance between workers' demand and the country's economic realities. How do you reconcile that? And beyond the rhetoric that we hear on such days, is there any actionable plan by the NLC to try and perhaps push the hand of government to review the salaries, the minimum wage rather?
Yeah, thank you very much. If you look at the economic reality based on what they are saying, can you believe that government cannot pay minimum wage of 70,000, looking at the economic reality in itself, looking at the kind of salary they pay themselves at the National Assembly, looking at the kind of salary and the wastage in the federal government activities, the number of personal assistants they have, the wastage in the issue of relating to renovation of houses and how contracts have been inflated, and you want me to believe that they cannot pay 70,000 minimum wage? I can't believe that, because the government itself that is asking the Nigeria workers to look at the issues and go in line with the economic reality, are they also falling in line with that? They are a flamboyant way of living. You can see very clearly how the politicians are milking the economy. And so they are not sacrificing anything, but they want Nigeria workers to sacrifice. I think it's impossible. If you want to do it, everybody will have to sacrifice for the economy to grow. So if it is, but honestly speaking, I don't have any belief in this aspect that the economic reality would not does not fall in line with the minimum wage, the minimum wage. I think that is not it. I don't have that belief.
All right, thank you. Comrade Emeka, let's talk about this year's theme, reclaiming the civic space in the midst of economic hardship. How would you describe the Nigerian worker today in making this a reality?
In the midst of economic hardship, Nigerian workers have to still be expressing their opinions. It's really not nice to government. Some of the government policies have not been very fair to Nigerian workers. Inflation has gone so high, so up, that even the so-called minimum wage is not sustainable. It is nothing to write home about. But despite that, we'll continue to express our opinions. We'll continue to express our views. We can't keep quiet. We'll continue to demand that government do more for Nigerian workers to be able to fare better. Because if you look at the situation now, you say you're paying 70,000 naira. What can 70,000 naira do today? 70,000 naira cannot even buy a bag of rice. in the market. So it's really not fair. But we continue to express our opinion. We continue to demand for the government to do better, to do well, so that Nigerian workers can be able to fare better, to fare well, to be able to do well. What the government is doing now is really not that is not the best at the moment. But we have to reclaim the civic space. We can't keep quiet. We're going to demand. We're going to demand for the government to do better, to do something that that will better the life of the average Nigerian worker. Because for now, what we have cannot actually get us really what can take care of the welfare of Nigerian workers. So we'll continue to reclaim the civic space. We'll continue to express. We can't keep quiet. We want to demand. We want to express our opinions. We want to express our views. We want to express our concerns and suggest ways in which things can be done better and in very cordial ways. Thank you.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for sparing the time to speak with News Central. We appreciate your time and happy Workers' Day.
Thank you very much. Happy Workers' Day. We appreciate it. Thanks for having me. Yeah, have a lovely night. Happy Workers' Day, Nigeria. Thank you.